Good evening and welcome everybody to the Faculty of Business at MTU. We're joined this evening by colleagues from representing all of the various different programs across the faculty. And I'm just going to show 2 or 3 slides on the program portfolio, and then we'll leave it open to questions. And we have coordinators, heads of department to cover off the specific questions for each of the programs. So across the Faculty of Business, we have programs in the Kerry campus and in the Cork campus. So it's North Campus in Kerry, where we have programs across level 7 and level 8. So you have MT 541 in Business Common Entry, and the level 8 is MT 951, and Event Management MT 940. In the Cork campus, we have programs level 7, Business Common Entry, Agriculture MT 750, Hospitality Management and Tourism Management on the level 7 list. And then on the level 8, we've got NTN 942, and again, you'll know which, just keep a note of the program codes: Accounting, Marketing, Business Information Systems, International Business with the Language, Global Business with Pilot Studies, Business Technology and Communication, Food Business, Home Economics and Business, Hospitality Management and Tourism Management. So a range of programs across all business related areas. And I'll stop sharing now. We might open up to questions, because I know from previous sessions like this, we've a lot of questions that we'll endeavour to answer across the team. Okay, so we've a question from Molly. Is there a question there, Philip?
So if anybody wants to ask any questions, they need to click on the Q&A button at the bottom of the screen, and they can type their question in and we'll answer it. So Breda, if you click on the Q&A button, you can see the open questions there at the moment.
Yes, an open question here. Do I need to apply for an Irish exemption for any course? Okay, the questions are coming in. Okay, what would we specifically be doing for the International Business with Language course? And that's, again, I'll leave it to colleagues to type in detailed answers on that as well. With the language course, the languages on offer are Spanish, German and French. And you do spend a year abroad in one of our partner universities in either of the countries of the language that you study.
Rita, I might answer the question there from Molly on home economics and business. So the question is in relation to number of hours on the program. So Molly, it depends on the semester and the year, but really from year 1 it's 22 or 23 hours a week, and then that kind of is around the 20-hour mark for year 2, and it goes down to maybe 16 or 17 hours in year 3. Why 22 and 23 hours might sound a lot, there's quite a number of practicals. So for example, a culinary practical will take 3 hours. Equally with textiles, there's 3 and 4 hour practicals there. So it does vary from year to year, but low 20 hours in the first year, and then scaling down as we get away from more of the practical stuff into year 3. So hopefully that answers your question.
No, there's one follow-up question there from Molly. Just in how many places are available on the home economics and business?
Okay, good question again from Molly. So that's 32 places. And this is linked to the number of places that we have for progression onto the professional masters in education in UCC. So 32 places each year.
There's a question there about what European languages can I study in general business. The languages are French, German and Spanish.
Just breathe there in relation to the mature students. So the mature student can apply through the CAO. If they haven't applied through the CAO, we have a non-standard application, and the best way to do that is to talk to the Access Office at MTU, and they'll give you the details around that.
There are a couple of questions there about business common entry that I might address. So there's a question there about what would you specifically be doing for business common course, and what does the route look like after the 3 years? So in the first year of the course, you study a wide variety of business subjects, accounting, maths, marketing, management, enterprise, giving you a broad overview of the different areas of business. In year 2, then you have the option of taking a route specializing in business or marketing or accounting. So if you choose to continue with the business common entry course, after year 3, you are awarded a Bachelor of Business ordinary degree, and then you are able to continue on to do year 4, where you would achieve an honours business degree, level 8. So you have the option of achieving a level 8 degree in marketing, accounting, or business by going through the business common entry route. In terms of the schedule, for all courses, students are expected to be available between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. Monday to Friday. Timetables vary, and approximately 23 to 25 hours a week.
Okay, thanks, Trudy.
Breda, I might come back in again on a couple of answers there in relation to home economics. So just 2 questions. One of them is, for advancing onto the PME, is the only requirement to gain a 2-2 degree, or are there other requirements based on subjects covered in the Leaving Cert? So once you have your Leaving Cert, then, and you enter onto the program, then that you meet the entry requirements, and that's it. So all you need to do to progress to the PME and UCC is to get a 2-2. However, just to be clear, the progression route is available, only guaranteed on the year you complete. So once you finish in year 3, you have a place, you're guaranteed a place the following September. If you want to leave it off for a couple of years, there could be a place available, but it's not guaranteed. I'm just going to mark that done. The second question is, how many weeks teaching placement are there on the home economics and business degree? So again, in year 3 of the program, in the second semester, so just after Christmas, we have a 3-week placement, but it's more of a job shadowing where you are working with a teacher and doing some delivery with them, as opposed to on your own. So it's very much just to get a sense of the teaching piece. And then once you go on to the PME and UCC, there are 2 placements in year 1 and year 2 of the PME. So I hope that answers everything there.
Okay, I see another question there about accounting, and I see Carmel is typing an answer there for the, do you need accounting as a Leaving Cert subject to do the accounting degree?
Yeah. So in accounting, you don't need to have accounting done. It's obviously an advantage, but in first year, we just we work on the assumption that you will have not done accounting. So, or economics, or any business or anything like that. So we start at the basics. So obviously, if you have any of those subjects done, it's obviously first year will be easier for you, but everybody, it's based on the fact that you haven't done those before. And also the other question was just about finance. So it isn't a finance degree, but you can definitely take finance modules, especially in year 4. And you get very good exemptions from the accounting bodies, ACCA and Chartered Accountants ACA, because CPA have joined in with them now. But there's also some exemptions from some taxation, etc. as well. So and in third year, you also do a placement, which is a minimum of 15 weeks, but most people do like 6 months, 6 or 8 months. So then there's that also. You do that in second semester of third year.
Brilliant. Thanks, Carmel. I see a question there. Trudy, do you want to answer that live about the teaching option out of the business degree?
Yeah, so if you complete the 4 years level 8 business degree, so you would continue on from the common entry level 7 on to complete your 4th year level 8 higher degree, you are then recognised by the Teaching Council to teach business studies to junior cycle and business to Leaving Cert higher level. That does not obviously guarantee you a place on the PME. You need to complete the PME first before you are eligible to teach, but our course is recognised to teach both of those. Important to note though that you are not recognised to teach either accounting or economics to Leaving Cert level. However, if you were to do the accounting degree, you would be eligible to teach business studies to junior cycle and accounting to higher level. So again, there's obviously that option as well.
Okay, thank you, Trudy. I see Ray, this question about placement.
Yeah, thanks,
Ray
Breda.
Business,
Just come in there on the is there work placement option on the level 8 and level 7 business course
Yeah.
in MTU Kerry? Yes, exactly. There is across all of our programs. There's work placement in second semester of year 3. And just to mirror what Trudy was saying about the other questions there as well, in terms of it's the same. It's very much the same kind of program in terms of common entry. If you go on to level 8 in terms of teaching, you will be able to teach, just like Trudy was saying, similarly from the Kerry campus program in business as well. So those options are available too. Thanks.
Thank you, Ray. Okay, there's plenty of questions coming in and being answered.
I come in there while we're just some people are answering questions there. So there's a query here on the culinary studies program. So after I completed the 2 years course in culinary studies, can I work in Europe with that degree? So just to be clear, the culinary studies is a higher certificate program, so it's not a degree, but you can go on to complete a degree through different mechanisms as progression routes there. But it is important to say that we have many people with the higher certificate in culinary studies who go on to work all over the world. In top restaurants. So it's not a degree. It does allow you to work all over the world, but you can progress to a degree if you so wish.
Thanks, Noel.
Can I answer one of the questions there about finance?
Yes.
So the question was, because I did say that you can, in fourth year, you can take a lot of modules in finance if you want to. There is finance in second year and third year also of the degree, the accounting degree. But if you want to specialize in finance, you can do a specialization in fourth year. Take some modules, but if you do those modules, you'll have less exemptions for the accounting qualifications, but you can definitely take more finance options in year 4 if that's the route that you want to go down.
Okay, thanks, Carla. Okay, there's a question here. The student believes they want to do accounting. Would you recommend going direct to an accounting program or doing a wider common entry business and then go on to accounting in year 4?
Will I answer that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose, I think if you are very much set on doing accounting, I think I would go with the accounting route. But if you are undecided about what route you want to do, doing the business year 1, where you do kind of a wide range of everything, it just means that in second year you do a lot of not a lot of catching up, but you're very, very calculation accounting heavy in year 2 then to catch up with the people who have done the accounting degree from the start. So that's the difference, and I presume it would be the same in the marketing. If you do the common entry business and haven't done marketing, for example, you just have to kind of catch up on modules. We have to do it in that way so that the people who come in from the level 7 business will have the same exemptions and will have done exactly the same exemption modules as the people who are coming in directly into accounting. I would suggest on the CAO actually is always to put down a level 7. So to put down the accounting, the business as a level 7, because if you will always be offered a level 7 and a level 8, and then you can make up your mind in that instance. Because I know that there was a couple of people this year who didn't put in a level 7 and they had just applied to other colleges and wanted to join then MTU, the accounting degree, but we couldn't offer them a place because they had not put down MTU basically on their CAO. So you have to put down MTU in your CAO to be offered a place, like if there's a spaces available, after the CAO results have come out. So I would suggest you put down a level 7 course and then also a level 8, and then you can make up your mind then in August when you get your offers.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a good piece of advice generally, is to keep your options open and to use both your level 7 and your level 8 options on your CAO. Sharon, you'd like to answer a question live around jobs and employability from business degrees. Is that okay, Sharon?
Yeah, that's fine. So I suppose for the business degree, the common entry degree, it really depends on what kind of route you want to take and what electives you choose. So obviously if you're taking if you choose marketing in second year or accounting in second year, you might want to go down that route of looking for a marketing job or an accounting and finance job. That's not to say you can't go into those areas anyway, even if you stick with the common business for the 4 years, 3-4 years. And you can also, like a lot of the graduates would go into roles in HR, supply chain, data, IT. And I suppose that's the beauty of the business common entry degree, is that it does have that flexibility, and there is like a wide range of job opportunities from it.
Yeah, and I suppose to add to that as well, the majority of our programs have a placement opportunity in year 3, particularly for the business programs. It's year 2 in agriculture, so it does vary from program to program, and we see a lot of graduate opportunities coming from placement as well. So students end up back with their placement employers on completion of their degree. So it's a great launchpad for a career in business. Questions coming in here around the marketing programs as well. I know colleagues here are busy typing and answering those questions. So thank you to Tim, and thanks to Cleona.
Yeah, Breda, a question came in there about maths in first year common entry, and if is it hard? So just to say that I suppose university is different than kind of the Leaving Cert, where there's continuous assessment, so students are assessed on a continuous basis. And also to say that we have an academic learning centre within MTU, so anybody that's finding it difficult with maths, there's free supports in place to help students throughout the semester. So those are in place. So there's no fear in relation to maths with the Common Business Programme.
Okay, thanks, Chair. Yeah, another question there around graduate opportunities, and I think Sharon has covered a lot of those, the teaching opportunities then that Trudy has mentioned as well.
Rita, there's just a question there in relation to scholarships. So we don't have academic scholarships per se in first year of the programs, but we do have a number of sporting scholarships that students can apply for, run through the registrar's office. So again, if you Google MTU scholarships, you'll see a full list of the scholarships that are available there.
Yeah.
There's a question there in relation to placement. I can only answer in relation to the accounting placement, but there is both placement in both practice. So we would have PwC, we have people going to Deloitte, we have the Big Four. The people go to the Big Four all the time, and then we've also got medium-sized practices, and then also industry. So there are people going to Apple, there's people going to Pfizer's, etc., etc. So there's lots of opportunities in relation to placement. And again, there are blue chip companies coming in all the time in the accounting side. I presume it's the exact same in all of the other placements as well. But there are places for the students.
Yeah, thanks, Karen. I see another question about placement. We have a placement team. We have a team of colleagues who look after placement in each of the programs. Certainly in the general business portfolio, we've just under 500 students going out every year from January to June, but will stay usually for the summer. And we engage with about 300 employers, predominantly in the Cork, Munster region, but we do have placement abroad. We've placement across the country as well. And again, they're from small startups to SMEs, multinationals, public sector, private sector. There's a full range of employer profiles there that's available.
Breda, I might come in on the food business program. because this is a new program that's on the CAO for the first time this year. So it's the Bachelor of Science Honours in Food Business. It's MT 929. So a question just has come in there around what's involved in the program. So just to give people an overview of this, it's a Bachelor of Science program. So it looks at very much the scientific elements of food, but it's coupled with a practical element so that people really get to learn about the practical components of school of food. So you might see in other programs, that look at food, that they don't give you an opportunity to get into a kitchen and look at flavor combinations and ingredients, different cooking processes, etc. So this program is very much designed to work in food companies or to set up your own food business. Or indeed to look at the various facets of food. If somebody is interested in being a chef, this is not the program from them. They should look at the culinary studies program. But if you're interested in food, you want to work in the broad food business domain, but not be a chef, this is a fantastic new program that will give you great career opportunities, because food is such an important part of the Irish landscape in terms of exports, etc. So, but if anyone wants to connect back in with us in the department, our details are on the website. If you want to come in and have a discussion on that, we'll be happy to do so.
Okay, thanks, Noel. Question there, I see Trudy's answering it about, do you want owning your own business and what's the course? I suppose the MTU has a very strong entrepreneurship ecosystem, so you do have an opportunity to tap into industry or enterprise support systems throughout your study in MTU, but certainly any of the business courses will have components of entrepreneurship and innovation as part of the core learning there. Couple of questions. Yeah,
I might jump in there, Breed, if that's okay. There's a couple of questions. There was a question on, if you're not studying business subjects for the Leaving Cert, are you at a disadvantage? And the answer is no. Everything is covered from scratch. So we would go with the assumption that students have not studied accounting or economics or even business for the Leaving Cert. So you're certainly not at a disadvantage. Everything is started from a foundational level to give you the best opportunities to choose which career option in the business suite is best for you. And then there was another question about, is it possible to transfer to a different business course in year 2? So with the business common entry in year 2, you have an option of choosing one of 3 streams. So you can choose the marketing stream, where you would study marketing electives, and at the end of year 2 you would transfer into the Bachelor of Marketing degree, level 8. In 3rd year you can choose in 2nd year to study the accounting modules, where you would transfer in 3rd year into the accounting degree, level 8, and then you can stick with business, where you would cover more generic business modules. So you do have options in the business common entry to specialize in marketing, accounting, or stick with general business.
Okay, thank you, Trudy. I see there's a lot of questions being answered here by colleagues, so thank you very much for that. A couple of questions here on assessment and balances of assessment and the mix of theory and practice. There is a broad range of assessment tools and methods used, from projects, group projects, individual projects, live case studies we use in a number of programs and modules. Lab, there's a lot, where there's a technical component, you'll have lab-based assessments, and you will have exams as well, exam components, but there's usually a balance between continuous assessment and final exams across each semester and across each program.
Hi, Breda. I might come in with a question on the pilots.
Perfect, thanks, Tim. Yep.
So someone's just looking for an overview of the Global Business and Pilot Studies program. So this is quite a detailed program, so I'll just give sort of a high-level overview. This is predominantly aimed at people who want to become pilots. So you come into us in year 1, you do 1 year of global business. After year 1, you'll go to our flight training partner, Atlantic Flight Training Academy, or AFTA. And for years 2 and 3 of the program, you're actually learning to become a pilot. So you're actually at flight school. After year 3 of the program, you'll have your frozen ATPL, which will allow you to work for an airline as a pilot. And year 4 of this program is done part-time and at night. So if you do want some more information, you can email tim.crowley@mtu.ie, or we have a very good resource on our website. If you search aviation on the MTU website and click on the global business option, there's a lot of information regarding modules, the assessment process and fees as well.
Thanks, Tim. Okay, Cliona, European language, see, you'd like to answer it live? Or is that answered? So many questions here.
I'm not sure which
Something
question it is.
Oh, yeah, this language. I think you had it answered here. Is the
Oh,
language
sorry.
French, German, and Spanish. Yeah.
Yes, French, German, and Spanish. They're the languages that are on offer for international business. That's right.
Different jobs we've covered, scholarships.
Yeah, Breda, there was a question there on graduate opportunities for business degree students. So I suppose just to say that we're in a good time here where there's near full-time or full employment, so the opportunities are widespread. So I mean, typically students, if they specialize in the marketing, accounting, or management, will go into those roles. But also, I suppose there's opportunities in supply chain, HR, logistics, consultancy, banking, and so a wide range depending on the interest of the student. And I suppose that's kind of validated through their placement. So typically students will go out with companies that in the third year of the program, and we try to match them with their own competency and skills and the interest they have in that area. And I suppose there's a very high percentage of students that will end up in that company after their placement and after they qualify or get their degree, so they'll end up in that company. So again, it's a good time for students to do a degree. The job opportunities are plentiful.
Yeah. Thanks, Chair. I know there was a question there somewhere about accommodation. I think that was answered.
Yeah, I'll put the link there. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and it is a good idea to start looking for accommodation as soon as possible. And certainly your colleagues in the accommodation office are helpful, and we'll have lists of contacts.
Breda, I might come in if that's okay in a second, because there's a couple of questions coming in on CAO points and how, for new courses and how they're picked. And there's now one about, are they based on a lottery basis or whatever. So just to be clear for everybody, this is for every program. The points in the program are set based on the demand for the program and the number of spaces available. But if I can maybe explain the home economics and business program very simply. As I said earlier, there's 32 places on the program. So we look at who are the top 32 people who have chosen that course in terms of their points, and they are the ones who get offered a place. What's really important is that if you're interested in a program, you put it down as your first choice, regardless of what points it was last year. And often people make that mistake. I have people who've missed out in home economics last year because they said, oh, we didn't think we'd get the points, but we did. So we never know. It's purely down to what those people, what those other students achieve and their Leaving Cert get. So my advice to everybody here on every single program, put your programs down in order of preference, not on the level of points that they're at. They can move up and move down quite significantly from one year to the next. So I hope that kind of answers maybe a lot of questions around that.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and actually do use your level 6, your level 8 and your level 7 options as well to keep your options open for yourselves. Yeah. Yeah, other colleagues jump in if, as I said, if I miss a question or miss a theme.
There's a question there about the balance between practical experience and theoretical knowledge. So I suppose just to say that, you know, in a number of our modules, we'd have a practical element as well, and we'd assess on that. So again, we're moving towards kind of authentic assessment where we have live cases and we bring companies in. So we're just not reading in a book. We're bringing companies in to challenge the students on their particular problems and for the students to, I suppose, give those companies the solution. So again, all of our programs have a theoretical foundation, but a practical emphasis as well.
Yeah, okay. Thanks, Ger. There's another question there about niche markets, the best route. How flexible are electives? You do have choices in relation to electives. In terms of niche markets, again, depending on your own interest, you may have options and choice around project work, particularly as you progress through your program. And you do also, the questionnaire about societies, plenty of student societies right across a range of different activities. Probably is it 50 or 60 societies? Colleagues here would have a better handle on the exact number, but you do have the opportunity to look at learning outside the curriculum as well to build up your experience.
Bree, there's two questions after coming in there. One on if I got the points for the course last year, but won't get it this year due to the course points going up, do I still have a chance? So it goes back to the earlier comment on if you got offered a place on the program last year and you deferred your place, then you will be automatically offered a place. If you weren't offered a place last year on the program, it's the same for everybody applying as if you're applying for the first time. So everybody is competing under this year's points for that program. And then there's just one other one there I might just answer while I'm there is, do you have choice of electives in the home ec and business degree? Yes, there are some choices there around what area you want to focus on. And again, for all of our programs in the university, if you go onto our website, you get a full list of the modules on every single program. And again, the advice would be to everyone is to actually look at all of those modules and really get a sense of the program by reading into them. So you get more details there.
Thanks, Noel. Okay, there's only one open question at the moment and 17 answered.
Yeah, there's one open question. Is business common entry good crack? It's fantastic, yeah. So one of the best times of your life has come to college. So I'd encourage you all to come and have the great crack at MTU.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can I answer the question there on are the subjects home economics and business very different from Leaving Cert? Look, absolutely, in the sense that it's a step up. You're being trained to a much higher level so that you can teach and deliver a program at a lower level at post-primary. So I would say for anyone stepping into the college environment, it is always a step up. It's trying to get people to be educated to a much higher level and understand the broad array of different things so you can be an effective teacher in particular for that program.
Okay, thanks, Noel. Okay, question there on BIS, Business Information Systems.
Yeah, Brita, I suppose the question is in relation to what the graduate opportunities after the program. So
yeah.
I think they range from anything to consultancy to analytical roles to developer roles, project managers, IT support, business analytics. So again, it's a very popular course and our students have no problem getting jobs afterwards. So again, I suppose students' particular interest will be shown, I suppose, during the internship or placement in third year, where we'll link them with companies in the different sectors. And again, typically they would move to those companies after graduation.
Mm. Yeah, and they're highly sought after in terms of particularly the tech companies in the region. Yeah.
I mistakenly pressed return there on one of the questions, so I didn't answer the question fully. So there was a question there about the hospitality management program and the list of modules and whether there was placements involved. So I sent a link to the program there and hit return, and I didn't get the last part answered. So just to say, we have a placement in the summer period of year 1 and year 2, where students go out and work in a hotel environment, basically developing those core fundamental skills. And then in year 3 of the program, in semester 2, there's a 5-month placement where Students have the ability to go abroad to the United States or Europe, or indeed stay in Ireland if they so wish, to get into that more supervisory management position. So two different aspects of placement there.
Yeah, okay, thank you. There's a question here about the HERE program. I'll put up a link to the HERE and the DARE program as well, so
Yeah.
the general information on that.
Again, the Access Office would give them information on that.
There's a question there. Tim is answering about the points for marketing. Again, it's you're looking at supply and demand.
I might come in there on the teaching question, Breda. So
Okay.
in order to become a business teacher or an accounting teacher, so if you want to become a business teacher, you would complete the Bachelor of Business Honours degree. So starting with Business Common Entry and doing the 4th year add-on where you get your level 8. And then obviously you have to go on to do your PME, but the Bachelor of Business Honours degree is recognised by the Teaching Council to teach business to junior cycle and business to leaving cert. It's the same with the accounting degree. If you complete the 4-year level 8 accounting degree, you're recognised by the Teaching Council to be capable of teaching business to junior cycle and accounting to leaving cert. Neither of our courses make you eligible to teach economics to leaving cert. We do offer options for qualified teachers to come back at night to study economics modules should they wish to add that to their repertoire once they're qualified. In terms of best way into teaching employment, you'd have to obviously then do your PME, find your work placement and stuff. We're not a teaching focused degree. It's just our programs, those 2 programs are recognised by the Teaching Council.
Thanks, Trudy.
Trudy, maybe just to come in there as well, there is, of course, the option of the Home Economics
Of
and
course,
Business program.
sorry, yes.
And sometimes people see it as Home Economics first, which it is, and then business. But in actual fact, we have some people entering that route to become teachers, with business being their first choice and Home Economics then being their second. So it's just another option around that.
Yeah,
just to clarify
yeah.
that.
But again, they wouldn't be qualified to teach accounting or economics to leaving cert level, but
No.
could come and do extra credits afterwards, again, to add those to their Teaching Council status.
Yeah. Okay. Application process purely on CEO. I suppose we're focusing on our CEO offerings tonight, and they're predominantly on the CEO. The majority of them don't have an interview process or other entry requirement. If you get the points, you get the course for the most part.
I suppose just on that, Prida, it's important, I suppose, when the results come out and maybe you if you don't get your first choice in MG, we would have vacant places, so there might be vacant places on other programs. So again, that's something to watch out for, consider if you don't get your first choice or second choice. We do have vacant places on some programs, so again, it's important. And the other thing, just to remind people of, just in relation to the business program, you know, it's important to put down level 7 and level 8 options to keep all your options open. So, for example, you might be very interested in doing the level 8 accounting program, but maybe you don't get the points. But if you applied for the level 7 business, then you could still do accounting. So it really is important that you put down both options.
Yeah, and yeah, so you've got a couple of routes into your different programs. Yeah. There's another cut. Somebody else want to come in on that one there, actually?
There's also just a question there from someone who said that they weren't from Ireland, and do they have to come in through the CAO? And they do have to come in through the CAO, but it's called a mature and advanced entry. You'd have to kind of deal more with the CAO about that. I know I see it from our side, but I don't know what you do from your side, if you know what I mean. But they with that you would have to provide details of maybe what education that you have from abroad, and also put in a personal statement and show the interest that you have in, you know, like either if it's accounting that you're applying for a business or for whatever, you know, so that you can, or if you do a PLC course as well, or like you can apply through that early entry as well. I think it's called level 0. But if you look at the CAO website, it'll have that, but it is all through the CAO. But you will, if you apply through that, because I know that I look at the entries from that side, I would say things like sometimes like we need to have, you send on your qualifications onto the CAO directly, and then they upload them onto the system. We can see them then. And sometimes if, for example, you were doing accounting technicians, for example, we would say, yes, you are allowed entry into year 2 of our course. However, we would say to the people who are running the CAO from our side in the admissions office, we would say, don't offer a place until such time as you see their exam results from the summer, because obviously we'll be offering a place before you get your exam results. And then if you get results that qualify you for entry, then you will get entry. So that's basically, and that's the same for all the other courses, I'm presuming.
Yeah. Yeah.
Carmel, just on that, on the international applicant that posed the query, I mean, if they go on to cao.ie, it gives instructions in relation to what's required. And typically, as you said, it's a direct entry to the university in relation to the program. But the details are on the cao.ie, the details are on that. If they search international applicant, it will show them.
There's a query there about a personal statement to put accounting in my interest. That's personal statements for the non-standard applicants. If it's just a Leaving Cert application, it's just based on points.
Yeah, Breda, there's another question there in relation to competition. I think it's the same for the business studies program. Again, it's dependent on the points. If the points are set and you achieve those points, then you're offered a place.
Last year, I still have to wait to be offered a place in the course until everyone gets. Yeah, if you are applying through the CEO this year with last year's Leaving Cert results, it's part of the general offer, where the offers come out in August.
Yeah, so just effectively, you're right, Breda. It's just to say it's a new competition. So unless you have deferred a place in the program, it's a new competition this year where everybody gets to put in their requests and then it's judged on points at that point.
I don't see any other.
Any final questions? Yeah.
I don't see anything new coming in.
Yeah, home economics there, Noel, any equipment?
Yeah, so a really great question there. So there is some equipment that needs to be purchased in relation to like culinary activities in terms of a basic kit. Same for textiles and the same for a sewing machine. So what we try to do is say to people there are some basic pieces that you need to purchase. It is of a benefit, of course, to buy a sewing machine because it allows you to practice. However, it's not a necessity. There are some basic components that you need to buy. And we'll provide that detail on when you're offered a place in terms of what's required. Again, we try and space that out. So if there's culinary in one semester, there'll be textiles in another. We try and allow people to buy at different times to try and alleviate that cost. So a sewing machine, I wouldn't buy something in advance of getting some more information from the lecturer involved. We don't make it mandatory. Yes, it's a benefit, but it's not compulsory.
Yeah, does the business courses offer Erasmus? I think Trudy's answering that.
Yeah, I suppose just to say that all of our courses in semester 2 of third year offer students the opportunity to go on work placement, and that can be an Erasmus opportunity where you can work abroad or study abroad during semester 2. So that applies to all of the courses in the School of Business.
Yeah, we've quite an extensive range of partners across Europe and even beyond as well.
Trudy, or Rita, could I come in there? There's two different questions asked that I might take. One is, do you have another pathway if I couldn't apply for the HERE scheme that I could apply to do a certain course? So people should look at there's a QQI route as well through the CAO, but it's also to contact our access office in MTU if you want specific details around the different pathways, especially if you missed out for some particular reason. Certainly would be advising to deal with that. The other question is, and actually a great question, if you put a level 7 and a level 8 option down, if you get the required points, you offer both for you then to make up your mind. Absolutely, that's a really good question. So everybody gets a level 8 offer and a level 7 offer without prejudice. So that's why we always state that you should apply for both level 8 and level 7 programs, because effectively you will get two offers, and then it's up to you to decide which one you take. So for example, you could get your third choice at level 8, you could get your first choice at level 7. It is up to you then at that point to see which one of those you choose. So really important for people to look and work both of those lists to give you the best possible options when it comes to late August to make your decision. So it's the question there from Molly's. It didn't sound like Erasmus was an option yet for home economics and business. So I had answered you that one previously, but just to clarify, we are looking at Erasmus opportunities for the home economics and business program. We have partners who are looking to do that with us, and they deliver through English, which is great. The issue here is around teaching council requirements. So if somebody goes on Erasmus, we need to make sure that we have that when they come back from Erasmus and they apply for their teaching council registration, that they meet those requirements. So there's a little bit of, no, you're correct in saying it's not available yet. We are working on that, but that's the reason for it. We need to be certain that we don't jeopardize your ability to register as a teacher at a later stage.
Rita, you're currently muted.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Yeah, and I just see Mary, thank you very much for answering that question here about progression from QQI level 5 into business studies, BTech and communication degree. Again, it's first year applications through the CEO. Yeah.
Just there's a question there about students being involved as student body representatives. So just to say that we do have opportunities for students to work within the college as well. So again, the Access Office and other areas offer different roles on an annual basis where students can apply and they're paid a part-time rate like they would be in any other job.
Yeah, yeah. So student leaders, we call them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and TAs, teaching assistants. The tutoring teaching assistant would usually come in at postgraduate level. Not usually for undergrads.
Gambry, there's a question there about what companies hiring for work placement. So again, it varies from the big multinationals to small firms to startups to communities to non-for-profits. Again, it depends on the area that the student is interested in, and we try and match the student with that particular company. But again, lots of companies looking for people on work placement. And just to say, typically they are paid placements as well.
They are a lot of repeat
Yeah.
business. So we've
Yeah.
same employers coming back year on year for our placement students, and then for graduate employment as well.
Just as a question there about students setting up their own society. Yes, I think through the Students' Union, a number of new societies are started again. You have to have a minimum number of people to start the society. You have to outline what the society is all about and what the aim and mission is. And then if it aligns with, good practice and the university, then it's typically approved and some funding is available.
again, the Here and There program. I'm going to try and put up a link, or if anybody has a link to it.
I'll put it up there, Breda. I'll put it in again there as well. Yeah.
Okay, thanks very much.
Sorry, I just think that some people are just kind of trying to get their head around the level 7 and level 8. I suppose, Breda, you probably know this better as well, and Trudy, but basically with level 7, it just means that it's a 3-year course. So at the end of 3 years, you get an ordinary degree, and if you decide then to do a 4th year, you get an honours degree. The accounting is a level 8 because it is a 4-year. It is a 4-year degree. But if you go into business, in year 1, you do all the different options, and then in year 2, you take whichever stream that you'd like to do. And if you take the accounting stream, you take the accounting stream in business in year 2, and you join the accounting degree then in year 3, and you do year 3 and year 4, and you get your level 8 honours degree in accounting. But if you stay in business and you just do 3 years, you get a level 7 ordinary degree.
Yeah, and the same, actually, most of our level 7s would have a level 8 add-on year, it's called. Yeah.
I suppose just to say, maybe after this webinar, students might have still have some queries. So again, you can email directly cao@mtu.ie, and we'll get back to you with an appropriate answer, or we'll follow up with you. So that's cao@mtu.ie. I think that's all the questions. Yeah.
I think that's all the questions. Yeah.
So just to thank everybody for coming this evening. I hope you've learned something. Thanks to colleagues here on the call for answering the questions. And again, if you want to follow up with any other further questions, cao@mtu.ie, and best of luck. I know a lot of you are studying for the Leaving Cert. Best of luck with your upcoming exams, and hopefully we'll see you at MTU next year.